Clear and crisp. Sunday afternoon at the Big A, that inner track ready for action. In fact, we ran 9 on this last day before the Christmas break, and then there was one, and that was the case going into this Sunday card. Hope you're doing all right. Thanks for settling in. A little primetime insider tonight. 8:30 p.m. is post, and you've made it in time, as has the MIG. Richard Migliore, Jason Blewitt alongside. And look, there was a little bit of finality in the air today. It felt a little different before we head to the break.
I got to be honest, I was reaching for the wire. I'm glad we're doing this now because I'm ready for a little break. I'm a little tired, but I'll come back fresh and ready to go. I
think most people will come back fresh and ready to go. Saturday, December 26th, we'll have opening day at Santa Anita, and of course the calendar here for you for $3 a pop. More on that though as the show progresses, and we got to dive right into headlines. A lot of action to bring you on the program, including that $26,000 pick 6 carryover. But for Bob Baffert, uncanny is the right word. His success with these 2-year-olds, his 8th career victory, a record in Saturday's Los Al Futurity.
And, you know, you got to like the way More Spirit did things, Jason. He was wide on both turns. He wasn't hard-ridden by Gary Stevens. He stayed in the bridle, in the bit, a long ways. And he ran like a horse that's going to appreciate even more ground than the 2 turns here at Los Al. I like a lot of what I saw.
And our leadoff race on the National Racing Report, Monday and Tuesday, I think at 6 p.m. right here on MSG+. An 88 BEYER with Gary Stevens riding More Spirit, one of your early favorites for the Kentucky Derby. Now let's move on to a headline that has both familiar names and a real Saratoga flair to it. Opening day at Santa Anita features both the Malibu and La Brea with a couple horses we saw really strut their stuff upstate.
Yeah, and you know, Run Happy this day, he was kind of an unknown right at this point. And we said, wow, he ran big, but was it a fluke? Well, he proved without a shadow of a doubt it was no fluke. And I've heard some mixed reviews about his training at Santa Anita. He breezes well, but he hasn't been wanting to train so much when it comes to his gallops. It tells you maybe a horse a little bit tired. He could be vulnerable, and if he is vulnerable, you got to think a horse like Marking could be the horse to upset things.
Marking seems like he's going places for Kieran McLaughlin. He's fresh. They took him out of the inside post in the Cigar Mile here to await the Malibu against 3-year-olds. And maybe you're right. The time is right to take on Run Happy and maybe even from a gambling standpoint try to take a shot against him this coming Saturday out at Santa Anita. We'll have some sprinting firepower of our own on Saturday, December 26th in the form of a fall highway rematch between Palace and Green Grotto. 2 hard hitters, and I'm very excited already. We're 6 days out. I'm already looking forward to the Gravesend.
Yeah, the Gravesend's usually a good race, and we're usually a little bit on the muscle ourselves because we want to get back to live racing action after the little bit of a break. But Green Grotto strutted his speed here in the fall highway. Palace not quite up to the task. I think his style was a bit against him, and this is Palace's swan song. He's going to go off to stud after this race, so you know I'm sure they're not going to leave anything out there. They got one last chance to get to the winner's circle with Palace, but it's going to be interesting to see how he does at stud, basically kind of stepping in for his father, City Zip.
City Zip, who's been a prolific sire, turf, dirt, sprint, long, it doesn't matter. City Zip has really been a heck of a stallion, was a great horse for Linda Rice, real solid. And by the way, one of those horses in the wake of Green Grotto in the fall highway, Captain Sirius, will have a bit later in the show. He's a big favorite in what we'll call our co-featured 8th race as we continue to work on that inner track. In fact, check that. That's on the main. That's the horse path on the main. Let's get it to the featured 5th Avenue. This was a case of a superstar, potential superstar, a real buzz horse coming in from Penn National. She is 1-5, and the bridge jumpers were out, and here's John Abrial with the call.
Margarita. Bernice Bank is now moving up in between horses. Bernice Bank and Frosty Margarita heads apart for the early lead. Crazy Love is down at the rail with Taken by Surprise alongside. And it's a big break already, about 8 lengths to Trulamo, who trails the field in 5th. The big favorite, Bernice Bank, has the lead here by almost a length over Frosty Margarita. The opening quarter was run in 23 and 1/5 seconds. They start the run into the far turn. Bernice Bank in front, half length over Frosty Margarita. Those two have now opened up 5 lengths on Taken by Surprise in 3rd. Then it's Crazy Love and Trulamo. They move for the top of the stretch. Bernice Bank on the inside and Frosty Margarita on the outside. It's Bernice Bank with the lead. Frosty Margarita on the outside is getting closer now. Bernice Bank down at the rail. Frosty Margarita on the outside. Frosty Margarita pokes ahead in front. Bernice Bank battles on down at the rail as they come down for the finish. It's Frosty Margarita and Bernice Bank not giving up yet, but it is Frosty Margarita to win it by a head. Bernice Bank was second at a big break. Back to Taken by Surprise.
Well, so much for the big hype horse, Bernice Bank. There was some talk and rumors of the connections turning down $1 million offer for her. They brought her up here. She was trying to make it 3 for 3, but ORTIZ never let Bernice Bank out of his sights aboard the winner, Frosty Margarita.
Well, and that was the key, staying right on top of her, not letting her get brave, not letting her get away. And Frosty Margarita broke out of the gate so sharply, and that's usually a tell. When a horse leaves the gate running like that, they're going to run well. It's basically they're touting their own health or good well-being. Bernice Bank, she's a nice filly. She showed a lot of gameness. I don't think she was the filly we saw at Penn National, and I didn't really particularly think she warmed up very aggressively. She looked almost a little bit dull, and they are flesh and blood, not machines.
All right, she failed the test today, but Frosty Margarita passed it, and here is winning trainer Rudy Rodriguez with the Mig.
Rudy, Frosty Margarita looks so good on the racetrack, but you had a big favorite to beat. How confident were you in her today?
You know, Richie, we was not confident, but, you know, she's been very, very, extremely good right now. And, you know, it's a plus with us, running right from home. You know, and she's been training over here since all her life. So, you know, to be that favorite, that was extra special for her to do that, especially when the favorite is. We was concerned about the favorite, that's for sure, but, you know, Ira seemed like he was very comfortable with that, so she ran very good today, so hopefully she keep improving a little bit and get it to the next level.
Well, it seems like all your horses are running so well. Do you think one of the contributing factors to that is that you're stabled here and they just have to be come over from their stalls?
Oh, yeah, Richie, you know, that's the main reason why I think that's the horses, they, you know, we don't really have to bother them. You don't have to ship them to Belmont. I know even in Belmont it's like 20 minutes or whatever, you know, they eat his lunch and they stay home and we don't even have to put muscle. We just leave him alone and take it from there, you know, and it seems like they're working pretty good over here, and, you know, it's always good when you're running right from home.
And now Frosty Margarita, she's been very successful sprinting. Do you think she can stretch out?
You know, Richie, she's been doing everything right, and I believe she can stretch out, you know. She looks like she's learning every time she goes to the track, and hopefully she can stretch out because that's where the money is.
Well, speaking of where the money is, where do you think you run back?
You know, right now I'm just going to enjoy this one and talk to the owner and plan a race for her, and hopefully maybe another New York bred race, you know.
Congratulations. Great job.
Thank you.
3 for 6 now, and wasn't that long ago we had our Frost Giant New York bred star of the day on this show for a few months. Well, here you got a good one by Frost Giant in Frosty Margarita. You brought up an interesting point with Rudy as far as having, at least for 6 months here in Queens, the home field advantage.
But I think it is a big advantage to walk over from your stall. You don't have to put them on a van. They don't get worked up. It doesn't break up the routine. And I do think it kind of lets a little bit of air out of the balloon when they ship over, and especially with a nervous horse, if it works on their nerves a little bit, expends a little energy.
Rudy's solid, man. As far as the dirt goes, maybe not so much on the turf. He's not known for his grass prowess per se, but he can develop a young horse on the dirt. He's very talented in that department. On to race number 2, we'll backtrack from race 3 with Bernice Bank blowing up at 1-5. The bridge jumpers, however, cashed. There was about $500,000 to show on her. We'll backtrack to race 2. Decent group battling for $16,000 claiming tags.
From the extreme outside. But there goes Brass Pair now up to challenge, and Brass Pair has a head in front of Storm Pursuit, who's towards the rail, and Wild Target, who's on the outside. Then comes Escapist, who's racing in 4th. Frazel moves up a spot from 5th. Native Hero is 6th. Ground Control is in between horses in 7th. And Sun Worshipper is the trailer in 8th. Brass Pair has the lead here by 3/4 of a length over Wild Target through an opening quarter mile in 23 2/5 seconds. Brass Pair at the rail, challenged now by Wild Target, who's right alongside. Then Native Hero. Storm Pursuit is going to need some racing room as they come for the head of the stretch. On the outside, outside is Frazel. Then ground control and escapist Sun Worshipper is at the back. The half mile in 47 seconds. They're in the stretch. Wild Target has a 2-length lead. Storm Pursuit has racing room here and is driving in second, but still 3 lengths behind Wild Target. Wild Target, then Storm Pursuit. Down at the rail is Frazel. Wild Target has won it. And won it by 5. Storm Pursuit finished second, and Frazel was third.
And here's Wild Target from the outside. And I think, Mig, this was proof, race number 2, we were dealing with a different inner track than the one we had yesterday that was really tilted down towards the rail.
Yeah, I think it was a more fair track. I still think you wanted to have speed and you wanted position, but I don't think it was imperative to be on the rail or on the lead. You just wanted to be in a position to win the race.
And Jose Ortiz was locked and loaded throughout on the 6-year-old gelding by Calfwayne, and we've talked about it. Trainer Charlton Baker, one of the few guys, Finger Lakes-based guys, that can really wheel and deal with the string northwest of us and figure out who will fit here, stepping up in class and stepping up into tougher competition.
He's really good at it. He's got a great handle on it, and it's not an easy thing to do where they quite fit coming from Finger Lakes to the Big Apple, but he knows how to handle it.
And we know how to handle Insider, and we're glad you're with us again. Our little final show before the Christmas break. We'll be talking about plenty of more that happened on this Sunday card on the other side of this quick timeout.
Now you can enjoy your favorite pro and fantasy football teams while playing the races in style as Longshots welcomes back NFL Sunday Ticket. With over 400 HD TVs, 270 individual carols, a full-service sports bar and food menu, Longshots is the place to catch all the great racing and football action. So come on out, bring your friends, bring your league to Longshots, located on the 2nd floor at Aqueduct.
All those highlights, the great pictures, the great memories, everlasting memories, including and certainly led by American Pharoah's Triple Crown victory on Saturday, June the 6th at beautiful Belmont Park. All that and more, and we're in good company. Honor code Tonalist and American Pharoah in the upper right, and they want you to have their pictures in the calendar this coming Saturday.
Well, it's kind of like a advertisement for Lane's End because they all left us to go up to second careers at stud. I'm sure it made them happy. Us, not so much.
Not so much, but Coolmore's got American Pharoah, and they've also got Uncle Mo, who had a highly touted first-time starting homebred for Rapoli Stable, who, of course, campaigned Uncle Mo to an unbeaten Eclipse Award as 2-year-old champion 5 years ago. It's hard to believe. Back in 2010, let's see how the Uncle Mo filly did. Clipped the Coupon Annie, the big favorite from the inside. Big field, too. Johnny I's got the call from the gate.
And they're off. Rock Garden from the extreme outside. Now Freudsom moves up along with Clip the Coupon Annie. Freudsom the leader. Clip the Coupon Annie runs in second, and Rock Garden is next in third. Now Firestar moves up from fourth. Alongside is Verona Blue next in fifth. And then it's Storm Cell in sixth. Nolo Contendere is down at the rail and running in seventh. Pass there by Tiffany's Freud. Then it's Lead Us to the Bar. And on the outside is Flattery Will Get You. A big break, about 7 or 8 lengths to the 2 trailers, Chasin' Outlaws and Feeling Bossy. They're at the top of the stretch. Clip the Coupon Annie on the outside of Freudsom. Clip the Coupon Annie now takes the lead. Freudsom is second. Lead Us to the Bar is third and gaining ground as they pass the 8th pole. Clip the Coupon Annie now draws clear. Clip the Coupon Annie pouring it on here in the stretch. And this is a debut victory for Clip the Coupon Annie with Erod Ortiz Jr. aboard. Lead Us to the Bar ran well to be second, close for third between Flattery Will Get You and Freudsom.
Good speed from Clip the Coupon Annie. Not a complete cakewalk trip, though, where she was hooked inside early, had to take back, go outside, and then she just blew the doors off the field at crunch time.
She showed, a lot of toughness, a lot of grit being able to do that. A lot of times, horses will have to back out of that spot. They get hit with a little kickback in their face. It kind of takes them off the bridle. battle and they quit. She was able to do that, extricate herself from a tough spot. Irad Ortiz obviously helpful with that, and then jump right back in the bit. Very handy, handier than I thought she was, and I actually picked against her because I thought that she might be a little green first time. I obviously was wrong. She was very good.
Out of Lights Off Annie, who Mike Rapoli campaigned as well, won the Broadway a couple of times, was 6 for 11. Couldn't stay beyond 3/4, but was fast and had some quality, and just real fast. Seems like Uncle Mo going forward may be the new benchmark as far as freshman stallions being compared to. He's the first U.S. stallion to ever have, in a 2-year-old crop, earnings of more than $3 million.
Well, you know, that's impressive. But what's more impressive to me, if we put that the statistics aside, if you look at all of his offspring, they have a very distinct way of moving. They all travel a lot like him, kind of out and down, really reach out, cover a lot of ground. It's very distinctive. If you don't have your program and don't know a horse's pedigree, and you see that stride, at least for me, I go immediately, oh, that's an Uncle Mo.
Yeah, no wasted action. Very efficient as far as moving over the ground, and a New York-bred filly that definitely has a future for Pletcher and Rapoli, and Erad again was aboard. Race number 8, we'll call it the Cole feature. Solid group of horses. Captain Sirius dropping out of the loss against Green Grotto in the fall highweight is odds on completing this 5-pack from the outside.
Captain Sirius and Bon Vigilante. Bon Vigilante has the lead with I Love Lulu now moving up at the rail. Me Wanna Rose, Captain Sirius right together 3rd and 4th. Joking is the early trailer in 5th up the backstretch. Bon Vigilante leads by a length. I Love Lulu second by a head with Captain Sirius on the outside and 3rd. Then Me Wanna Rose and Joking. Bon Vigilante ran the opening quarter mile in 22 and 4/5 seconds and has the lead as they go into the far turn. Bon Vigilante by 2. The odds-on favorite, Captain Sirius, in 2nd. I Love Lulu, Joking right together. Me Wanna Rose is now the trailer. And now they're coming for the quarter pole. It's Bon Vigilante on the outside. Captain Sirius, Bon Vigilante holding on to the lead here in front by 2. Captain Sirius in 2nd. Then it's Joking in 3rd. I Love Lulu and Me Wanna Rose. Bon Vigilante's got a 3-length lead over Captain Sirius. Bon Vigilante in front as they come down for the wire. And it's going to be a wire-to-wire victory for Bon Vigilante, the longest shot on the board in this 5-horse field. Bon Vigilante at 8-1.
It's been a real renaissance over the last few months for Bon Vigilante, who has found himself, might be in career form, and was stepping up off a 40K claim for the Toscano family, in for 100 G's and took down a good field.
John Toscano did a tremendous job. This horse looked fabulous on the racetrack, so well turned out. Jason, look at this horse's demeanor. His ears are flat against the back of his head. He has just got so much desire, so much grit and determination. And I was saying off camera, if I was a horse, I wouldn't want to run up next to him. He looks mean, like he'll reach over and grab a hold of you. Certainly a herd leader, but had speed. That's always a good thing. Captain Sirius, New York bred, took all the money. Well, here was another New York bred, the longest shot on the board, getting it done.
All right, getting some nice owners awards as well. Winning an open company, high-priced allowance optional claim of the purse 75 G's. And Kendra Carmusha winning rider, 5-year-old by Salute the Sarge. As we continue on, again, we have the $26,000 pick 6 carryover. It does seem that's the norm these days. We've had so many carryovers at Aqueduct. Here's Johnny I. Back to him for the calls of 1, 4, 5, 7, and 9.
13, they come into the stretch. Mr. Manolo and Chomsky, and they remain right together. Bankers Holiday is all out in 3rd, trying to catch those front 2. Now there's a furlong to the finish. It's Mr. Manolo. Bankers Holiday on the outside. Chomsky down at the rail. River of Dreams is 4th. A 16th out. Mr. Manolo and Bankers Holiday. Mr. Manolo is going to win it. Bankers Holiday 2nd, then Chomsky, River of Dreams, and Big House. The 5th, and at the rail, it's Wire Dancer. They come into the stretch. On the inside, it's Stones of Navarone. Marakovitz on the outside. Stones of Navarone still the leader. Marakovitz in 2nd, then All Day Long, and You Do That with Wire Dancer. They're coming down for the 16th pole, and it's Stones of Navarone now with a 3-length lead. And Stones of Navarone will score in a front-running victory. Then it was Marakovitz and All Day Long. Indian Nobility move over, and Luigi P. off the turn into the stretch. Leilani's Ticket has taken over. Perfect Disco moves to second as Windhurst drops out of it. Then it's Every Dog Has His Day. Leilani's Ticket and Perfect Disco. Perfect Disco in front now. It's Perfect Disco clear by 2. Leilani's Ticket, Perfect Disco the winner by 3. Leilani's Ticket held second over Every Dog Has His Day. And Indian Nobility came from out of it to get 4th. Field is at the head of the stretch, and it is Brigetta challenged here by Saluter on the outside. Brigetta at the rail, Saluter on the outside. Saluter now takes the lead. Brigetta is back running in second. Then it's the Wildcat Girl, Andromeda's Risk, and Saharan Serenade. Saluda has the lead, and Saluda will give Jose Ortiz his 3rd win of the day. Close for second between the Wildcat Girl and Britt moved into 4th, and then Solid Future. 3/4 1 and 1/14. It's High Lie with a 3-length lead. My Friend Keith has moved into 2nd. It Matters is now in 3rd, and Cody's Notes in 4th. High Lie has the lead, with My Friend Keith giving chase in 2nd. High Lie and Kendrick Carmouche to take the late double. My Friend Keith finished 2nd.
And highlight by Tiz Wonderful, who's now standing in South Korea. Got the mile on the 16th in the last, but I think it goes back to a point you brought up earlier in the show. Maybe concerning trips and pass, it was a fairly even inner track, but man, horses were not making up any serious ground.
No, they were not making up ground. You wanted to be in position to win the race, at least by the time you turned for home, and yeah, he certainly had his spot.
All right, let's check out our second look with Cappy here before our little Christmas break, and we'll take the second look with Sunday's 4th race. We'll take a look at the head-on out of the starting gate first. We do have had a disqualification of the 4 and the 9. Specifically, watch the 9 horse here. I mean, this is just a mess out of the gate.
Oh, gosh, she really veered in, and you could see how badly it affected the horses inside, particularly the 8, Grace's Joy. Clipped heels, actually almost fell there, and, you know, it's rare to see disqualifications out of the gate. I believe there should be more of them. I think this one was justified and warranted. Guys can control horses a little better than that out of the gate.
And now Manny Franco was right outside the 9 who's chasing and would be disqualified from 2nd. And Franco getting the win with the well-prepped Stones of Navarone, who was bet off the board as a Bruce Levine firster.
Yeah, you know, and Bruce wins with all kinds of horses. I mean, here's a guy who went over his 2000th career victory this year. Think about him. He trained Bustin' Stones. Bustin' Stones has become kind of the preeminent New York stallion. I mean, you know, he has so many horses that just run. They win. They may not be expensive. They might be, some of them win cheap, but they show up and run.
Yeah, just like he. I mean, he was a blue-collar horse all the way for Roddy Valente. Really achieved and overachieved throughout his career. Claims, quite a few out of race 2. 4, including the winner, Wild Target, who was picked up by trainer David Canizzo. A couple claims with the fillies and mares out of race number 7. Jacobson and Gary Gullo, both in action for $16,000. And just 1 page of claims. We can send it to break. We'll wrap up the week that was. As we say goodbye, we wait for Santa, and we've got some top performers coming up. We are dark the next 5 days here at the Big A. Back at it Saturday, December 26th. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas from all of us here at the New York Racing Association, including the MIG and myself. But don't forget the Racing Report, Monday and Tuesday. There won't be any live racing, but we have got you covered with the weekend that was and a complete national scene and scope on the Racing Report. Top performers, speaking of the week that was, Between the Lines leads us off. Very nice ride from Eric Consell in a 91 Beyer.
Real nice ride by Eric Consell, a horse that really loves the inner track, an inner track specialist, although he's been running good on other surfaces too. I don't want to discount that. And good to see Joe Lustrito with a win. Joe's wife passed away a few months ago, and you know, obviously a crushing loss for him, but Joe getting it done.
Adventus, a bit later, in fact 3 races later on that Saturday card, would score a good-looking career debut with the 74 Beyer.
I thought it was good for a number of reasons. Beyond the obvious, the margin of victory and what have you, I don't think this horse was comfortable sprinting and being on a hard chase. I think he's going to be a better horse when he gets an opportunity to settle into his stride more and use that big, long stride of his, because he is a big, rangy horse.
And as this card progressed, it was evident that the inside was where you wanted to be, and I think that makes the win here out of the 7, Moon Over a Beauty, more impressive because he was under a hard chase outside the entire trip.
And Aaron Greider just never say die. I mean, as strong as a finish as you're going to see, kept after this horse, got it done for Richard Violet. And a nice-looking colt. I just wonder, it was a very, very hard kind of first race, and where does he go from here?
Financial modeling may go into tougher races, and we certainly have a plethora of handicap races going forward. We kicked things off with the Haynesfield in early February, and he got a 104 Beyer riding that inside that was pretty live with a nice victory in the Queens County.
Yeah, real nice ride by Rad Ortiz, taking advantage of that bias and being aggressive, leaving the gate. And once he got the lead and got as comfortable as he did, school was out.
And school was out for Rad Ortiz Jr. In fact, class was in session, and Erad was the teacher. Took both stakes this weekend at the Big A, and Erad continues to rack up and pad what's been a very impressive season in all relevant totals as far as the numbers go. But a solid weekend from a young rider who's probably watching Insider right now.
You know, I have so much fun watching him and his brother Jose Ortiz ride. Not only are they good riders, they're good people, they're fun. It's been fun to watch their development. And it won't be too long. We'll see one of them or both of them get their own Eclipse Award.
And this was basically the Erad, Jose Ortiz, and Kendrick Carmouche show today, as Jose had a hat trick, Erad won a pair, and Kendrick Carmouche swept the late double. Bruce Levine, we spent plenty of time earlier with that firster by Bustin' Stones, giving Bruce some props, and why not? He had a very solid week, Mig.
Very solid week, 4 for 6. And Bruce, a guy that's easy to root for because he works so hard, puts so much into it, and a guy who's had his major success on a major league circuit. A lot to be said for that.
And we had a number of veteran trainers win today, Joel Destrito, the Toscano family with Bon Vigilante, Bruce Levine, and there you go, Rudy Rodriguez, Frosty Margarita, upsetting the big favorite from Penn National. Wow, Bruce, just one win behind Rudy Rodriguez. That kind of took me by surprise.
Kind of vaulted up in there, didn't he?
No kidding. That's what going 4 for 6 during the week will do for you in the trainer standings. That will lay dormant over the next 5 days. What's not dormant is our top 19 of 15. And if I had said to you, Belmont morning, Tepin's going to go on to win the Just a Game, run so well and lose a couple tough photos in Grade 1 company in Saratoga, and then win the Breeders' Cup Mile, what would you have said to me?
I would have taken any amount of money you wanted to bet, and I would have booked it at that time. Although I did like Tepin on this day, I couldn't have foresaw all that.
What a harbinger of things to come. Mark Cassidy and his crew, an outstanding job with this mare by Bernstein. Tepin in front of 90,000 on a day we would later see racing's 12th Triple Crown champion beating a very good field in the Grade 1 Just a Game. And that'll do it for the Mig and I. We'll get you up to speed with Larry off the quarter pole. But happy holidays and Merry Christmas to everybody.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas to you and all of the people that hang out and watch Insider.
All right, thanks so much, everybody. All right, here comes Tepin off the quarter pole on Belmont Day.
And Lady Lara, they're into the stretch, and it is Discreet Mark in front. On the outside, Coffee Click, Tepin down the center of the course, Sandiva trying to squeeze through an opening on the inside. Filimbi comes on too, final furlong. Here comes Tepin. Tepin outside of Discreet Mark. These two come down to the line. Filimbi is finishing fast with Lady Lara.